this wave of crime is a bit interesting. Some of it is political, some of it is sheer crime. Others, you get, there is internal collaboration. Like this man this police officer who threw a gun in Henjeri, this one in Chiruhura. Sang. Surely that was not rebel activity or criminal activity. It was it was connivance. It was connivance. Where is Damurira? Yeah, you are here. Now, Damurira, you remember the other thing we were discussing about Nairobi? Nairobi, the ones who are going to, our friends who had problems in Wujiri, you know, I have now discovered some of the people who were taken for the demonstration were border accident victims. Yes, border accident victims. People took to Nairobi border accident victims and claimed these were victims of torture. Sit down. That's the integrity of our politicians. Of the people they took, some were border victims, accident victims. That's the integrity of our politicians. Now, gentlemen, I can't be party to this. I can't be party to that tomfoolery. We should investigate those who did this kind of thing and bring them to account. How do you take people who were knocked by, fell down on their borders, and you go parade them before international press and say these were torture victims? Tortured by the police, I don't know, by CMI, or by I don't know. No. This is criminal. This is criminal, and those people who did that should be brought to book. This is not politics, no. It has now gone beyond the bounds of what? Of politics. It has become criminal. This is treason. This is treason. I'm not saying that some of you are holy. You beat up people, you do what? For which you should be arrested. Because when you beat a suspect, you should be arrested. Nobody should be beaten. But please, don't say the police has killed somebody who has never been born. That this fellow murdered a man who has never been born. Where do they find him? Or that they have killed a man who died 10 years ago. The man died 10 years ago, now you're saying they have killed him. So, these are some of the things I wanted to bring to your attention and to address you. I am very grateful for your effort. So far, so good. So far, so good. The new regime, the Ochoa regime, has brought a bit of sanity in the police and the group that is running the police now. I can see a bit of improvement. Of course, like, who is this man who said he wanted more? Oliver Twist. Like, Oliver Twist. I want more. The Baganda said, Sima Bongerwa. Like Oliver Twist, I want more. I want more. But I also appreciate your handcuffs. I also appreciate your handcuffs. I also appreciate the shortcomings and the problems you face in your, in your day-to-day operations. Like, for instance, take a police station like Ginger Road. Ginger Road, the man has no accommodation for police officers. You find an officer, he's staying in Weyogere, who works in Ginger Road. Weyogere, because he can't afford this accommodation anywhere near his or her place of work. Now, this woman gets up 6 o'clock, there is traffic jam. There is traffic jam. She has woken up 6 o'clock, she has to dress up her children, send them to school, but there is going into the traffic jam. She gets to office at 10. Now she has to leave the office at 4. No, actually at 3, because there is already traffic jam to where you get it. There is traffic jam because the planners of the city never put alternative routes. Because the city should have had alternative routes. People who are running the city, they were there, mayor, I don't know, councillor, I don't know. They didn't think about the growth of the city. You remember when I was quarreling with the Minister of Health about Butabeka? When I was Minister of Lands, I gave away Butabeka land. And when they were told, I said, when Butabeka was created as a mental asylum, Kampala's last precinct was Silver Spring. Butabeka was far away from the city, ideal for mental rehabilitation. Now the city has surrounded the mental asylum. That place is no longer ideal for mental rehabilitation. Take it away. Uganda is 23,000 square kilometers. You can find another place for people to get crazy. You can find another place. I was telling you, get Ruzira out of there. Ruzira was maximum prison when it was not surrounded by the town. The town and the prison, there is no difference. In fact, Ugandans are very good. One day, somebody will wake up and run out of that prison. And you won't stop them. And in the process of stopping them, you will kill many people. That prison should have been removed from there yesterday. But because we are, because they will say, some people, but we've got a lot of part-time thinkers in charge of institutions. Sure, can't you imagine that one day you are going to have a police force of 90,000? Because the police standard ratio is, of course, I can't tell Ochora the standard ratio because that is beyond his realm. It is supposed to be 1 to 500. He was 1 to 900 or 1,000. About 800. So, but you know, those of you who are below Ochora who will take off from him, you should plan for a situation where when you have 53,000 police officers, one day you are going to have 80,000. You may not achieve building capacity for them now, but that should be their projection. This year, this year, this training. How many policemen do we need? How many police officers will supervise them? How many police officers are going to retire? Ochora is not forever. He's not forever. Even if we kept him here, renewed his contract at the time, his pastor will catch up with him. And he will end up at Christ the church. Christ the King. Christ the or Saint or Christ the King or Chiburi. Like all of us. But you should plan that, you know, as people retire, we bring in these old pharaohs in Riru, and then there are these ones accidents, there are those who get sick, there are those, you know, there are those who are in Lanka, in disciplinaries who get dismissed. So every year we should plan for replacement. Even a car goes to garage. The brake linings are replaced, oil is changing. So the same thing is the force. Change the oil, replace the brake linings. All this should be planned for. So, but so far, so good. I'm glad. I can see the morale. I can see effort. I'm grateful to CID. Tom has now brought a bit of rationality. I'm grateful for CID. I still have issues with his group. His group, they are still dubious. They are doing good work, but they are still dubious. Now, there is also rationality in the traffic police. Dog section. The dog section, you become dogs. The pharaohs have dog section. Since I came here, I said we need about 700 dogs. How many do you have now? 200. You here? How can you have 200 dogs when we have 2,000 sub-counties? You either produce the dogs or I'm going to... There is a breeder, somebody who studied genetics in Mbale University. Get in touch with him. We can support him to come and give us part-time work, and then you do breeding. Because dogs are what we call force multipliers. What would take CID a day to complete, a dog will accomplish in minutes. Of course, it will not be successful most of the time, but 90% or 70% of the time, the dog will show you either the criminal or the possible link. Okay. So we need dogs. Dr. Who? Dr. Mugume. Dr. Mugume, we need dogs, my friend. Dogs, just dogs are dogs. You know, dogs are just dogs. How can you not have dogs? Dog. These are not wolves, they are not tigers, these are dogs. But you find he's there with and he's proud that he's got 200. 200 is a drop in the ocean. Like Mr. Chora asked me to go and commission 420, you know. Okay, so thank you for constructing, but they are dropping the ocean. Out of 50,000, now you are telling me 400. If you are going to build 400 per annum, when will you? If you are building 400 per annum, when will you finish the demand? No, we must have robust programs. We must think. We must think big. We must think big. We must learn to think big. We must learn to plan. We must learn to put in effort. Please, police officers, men, don't pass like a shadow. Don't go to a station and leave the station without a mark. When it rains, grass sprouts. When there is sunshine, the grass dries. When the shadow passes, no mark. I had an uncle who was not exactly very clean. He was called Biyawarema, you've heard of him. He was an education officer. You say, no, when they send you to school as a headmaster, if you can't do anything else, at least change this door from here and put it there. So, so when you're put in a station as a police officer, and you know, leave a mark. Strive to leave a mark, leave a legacy. Nobody will remember you for the beer you drank, for the dancing you did, the songs. No. They will remember you for the indelible mark you put where you were. That's what carries me forward. And that's my gratification. Yeah? You know, when they were announcing promotions, I had a drink. I have not been drinking for 15 years. I said, give me a glass of wine. I can see my police officers smiling. And you people are very bad. You had a celebration, you didn't invite me. Okay. Waliwo abantu abaava wano ne bagenda emitala ne bambuka ensalo ne bagenda ne bawaabira gavumenti ya Uganda nti yabakuba bababonyabonya babamenya amagulu. Tugenze kukizuula nti ababatwala nebe beetwala nebe batwala baali bantu abagwa mu accidents za boda boda. Government tevuganga ku boda boda. Government tekubanga ku muntu wansi ku boda boda. Bagwa ne bagenda e Mulago ne bavaayo. Kati baluwa babalimba ne batwala ebweru ne balaga ensi yonna ne bateeka mu maaso g'amawulire nti bano batulungujizibwa mulabe n'ebisago ebyabatuukako. Kati naye mbagamba nti okukola ekyo kulyamu ensi y'olukwe. Ngambye director wa criminal intelligence abagoberere olumala kufuna amawulire agawe ku director wa CID abatwale muki mu kooti. Abatwale mu kooti kubanga tosobola kugenda emitala ya wamawanga n'okolagana ne gavumenti z'ebweru n'ebitongole ebikese by'ebweru okukola ki okunona erinnya lya gavumenti ya Uganda n'abantu ba Uganda. Waliwo omutendera okukuzaakuza abantu bagenda nga bakula. Njogedde ku Inspector General Police ne mbagamba bannange ne bwe tubanga tumwagala ekiseera kijja kutuuka akadiwe agende. So n'olwekyo omuteeko okulaba nti abantu abamuli wansi bagenda nga bakola ki batumbuka mu madaala bw'abanga afuluma nga waliwo eyetegese kukola ki kumugenda mu bigere. Ate okwongera omuntu ku ddaala kimusanyusa si lwa ssente zaafuna na ebeera akasiimu kumanya nti nange bamanyi ndina kye naakola. Kubanga omupoliisi toyinza kumusasula ssente ezisaanira omulimu gwe kubanga abapoliisi bawayo obulamu bwabwe. Obulamu bw'omuntu obusasula ssente meka? abapoliisi babata ne babata kati omuntu okufa omusasola sente meka lyokafe akufiiri so okumuwa rank kwegamba nti okoze webale nnyo naffe tukusiimye obadde sergeant katukufudde inspector oba nanka assistant inspector oba kiki ono abadde assistant inspector afuuse inspector nanka omujjuvu naye ye ng'omuntu nawulira naye neyesiima si bwakubanga bafuna sente babongera ku musaala kubanga obulamu bw'omuntu tolina ekyo bugula abapoliisi bano sente zetubawa tezisobola kukompesetinga emirimu gye bakola basola nga tebewase basola mu mpewo basola babonaabona naye bakolera ensi yaabwe n'ensi yaabwe eteeka kukola ki okubeebaza promotion kwebaza constituencies sookolinde gavumenti yasaba constituencies yesaba districts gwe wali ogezeko mu gavumenti gwe obumanyi obutegeera yogera ku byotegeera wetakula wakusiibwa accommodation yawo poliisi namwe mukimanyi mulabe barracks zetulina barracks ne station zetulina zirabika bubi tuteekwa kukola nanka obwezingirire tulabe nti nanka police posts zino tuzirongoosa ne amayumba g'abapoliisi abakozi baffe mu poliisi ne mu prisons ne mu immigration abantu bafuna ki amayumba we basula balyoke batuukire baduse emirimu gyabwe eby'emmotoka n'amafuta ebya administration ebyo si bya minisita ebyo bya mukulu wa poliisi obulumbaganyi Police officers, I'm glad to be here this morning to talk to you and make a few remarks about my concerns of the police force. I'm not a police officer, as you know. I am for us, our training is for not peace enforcement, no, not peacekeeping, but peace enforcement. And if you don't listen to what we say, we don't take you to court. No, we send you where you belong. But that's not what the police is supposed to do. The police is supposed to keep peace and enforce the law. And the other arms of the state are supposed to support the police to enforce the law. You know, there was one time I had a disagreement with the old man, the president. I said, government is only 2 ministries. And he said, no, you can't be serious. I said, no, there are only 2 ministries that make government. The Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of Internal Affairs. And then he laughed. I said, why? He said, yeah, those are the ones we chased away from Ruweru. When we chased away internal affairs and destroyed local government, we took over. So the other ministries are supporting arms of these two critical ministries of government. The police plays a central role. Now, that's what I want to address you today about today. When you see these mob actions, when you see mob action, it's an indictment of the people's faith in the police force. Mob lynching, mob action is a result of the gaps left by the police force. Criminals are arrested, they are not properly prosecuted. And in this, you are not alone. In this, the matter is complicated, but I don't want to say it in front of the police, of the press. These rumor mongers will just go and write their own stories. We must, you being police commanders, must ensure the community desists from taking the law into their hands. The community taking the law into their hands is an indication that the police is missing. Or if it's not missing, is misfunctioning. There are other problems I know, which I discussed with the Inspector General. We shall see how to address them. That's point number one. Police presence and police action. You know, some policemen don't eat from their offices, they eat their offices. Not juniors, but quite a number. They don't use their offices to eat, to earn a salary, to earn a living, to do what? But they eat their offices. When you go into your office and you eat it, where do you come next? That's point number one. That one is finished. Two, I want to apologize to some of you. The police authority recently conducted promotions, and some of you were very happy. When we were announcing them, I could see Nanga's face. He was smiling from here to here. That's why Nanga was smiling from here to here. Now, unfortunately, the authority left some of you, junior and senior, outside that promotion list. I apologize on behalf of the police authority and blame your chief because he's a member. So we take responsibility that we didn't do this. There are people like Tom Himbise, you know, there are senior fellows who should have been raised and others. And we left them out. And there are certain departments, especially the CID, who are not considered. Now, I want to promise you that we are compiling another list of promotions, so bear with us. We shall give you your due promotions in due course. Now, I don't want to blame the IGP. I want to blame Winnie. Because the IGP wants to promote, Winnie tells him there is no money. Yes, the IGP wants to promote, Winnie tells him there is no money. And there is no money because Winnie comes from the treasury. From when they go to treasury, first thing they learn, the first sentence they learn in the treasury is there is no money. So Winnie has brought that dangerous vocabulary into the police. For us, we are a police force. You hear the word force. So either there is money or... and you know, honestly, they make mistakes. When we were computing, you know, the promotions we made, the difference it has made in salary. Somebody was telling me, the treasury was telling me, it's approximately 1.8 to 2 billion shillings. 1.8, 2 billion shillings when you consider the salaries of the scientists and so forth and the adjustment. Then I looked at this fellow and said, you mean you are prepared to demoralize the whole Uganda police force just because of 2 billion? 2 billion shillings. You demoralize the police force. I said, you people can't be serious. This is money we give to, I don't know, these fellows for whom we build mosques and churches and You know, you find people are running for money to build a church as if God is suffering from rain. Our church is not finished, but God is above rain. You say it's a house of God and God doesn't live there, he lives above the rain. So why don't you take your time and build your church already? And we save this money for the police force. Yeah. Promotions. We've handled ours at the police authority level. Handle yours at junior level. I want all these people sit down, look through them, make proposals. If the money is not there, now that becomes my job. That's why I'm here. If they say there is no money, it's my job to look for the money. That's what I'm paid for. You do your work, then I'll do mine. Somebody has been a couple for 19 years. Surely when you send this couple who has been a couple for 19 years, the man or woman has no hope. So when she goes and catches somebody who has stolen Ochora's 10,000 shillings, she pockets 15. I mean, because the person has no hope. And ladies and gentlemen, as you know, promotion is not because of money. It's not the salary that is gratifying. It's the recognition that goes with promotion. That at least now they know I am there and I'm serving. That's why I am progressing. Promotion is an entitlement. It's a right of every serving officer. From IGP, of course I can't promote you. From IGP to the latest private. For us, we had a cut-off point for you, for the officers. We said anybody who has been at the same rank for 8 years and more deserves a promotion. So you, in your rank, you can also sit down and say, well, 5 years, 10 years, whatever you choose, I'll go by that. I'll depend on your wisdom. Mine is to see promotion. Promotion, the man is IGP, and I mean IP, Inspector, Assistant Inspector of Police, 15 years. That one loses hope. And the lower you go, the worse it becomes. Because there are nobody. There was one constable who came and said, you helped me to get transferred from Karamoja. I said, constable. Since when did constables talk with generals? I said, you man, you're looking for trouble. If I talk about your problem, they will dismiss you from the force. Where will the constable find the Inspector General of Police? Where will the constable or this sergeant find the Deputy Inspector General of Police or the RPC? It's the responsibility of your supervisors to make sure that you look at the welfare of your people and appreciate their service. That one is good. That's number 2. Number 3, accommodation. The state of accommodation of the police force is a disgrace, to say the least. In fact, I'm surprised we still have police officers. People are living in places I don't want to mention. You go to barracks, and sometimes I avoid going to barracks. Because what will I say? We have sent you people. We have told you, get somebody. There are people who have got money. We have agreed with the Ministry of Finance that we should get people who have their own money to come and build us police barracks, and we shall pay them gradually. People have applied, people have approached me, I've sent them to you. The problem with you in the government is when I send you people and you find there are complications, you don't report back. Me, I use the police does not use me. What's wrong with you? Why am I here? Why am I earning a salary? I am minister, not to be driven around and saluted. No, I'm minister to minister the police. My job is to help you. What am I a leader for? You need a leader when you have a problem. You people, I know the road to my house in Imbuya. Do I need anybody to lead me there? Because I know the place where I'm going. But if I'm going to Ochora's house and I don't know where it is, I need a leader who will lead me to Mr. Ochora's house. So you have a leader here. Why don't you use this leader to solve your problem? Sit down and solve your problem. Now, Winnie, I am going to hang you by the feet like, you know, this man, the last ruler of Rome, who was this? The one they hung it upside down. Mussolini. Now, Winnie, I'm giving you 2 months. 2 months, Inspector General. This one, don't arrest me. I'm going to hang Winnie. And if I go to court, I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, I've hanged him to dry. To hang him upside down. You know, sit down with your team, look at this thing, create a problem. You remember what I told you when we were promoting? They said there was no money. I told them, let's create a problem. The president is sitting. I said, gentlemen, just keep quiet. Just if the water remains stagnant, the fish will see where they are going. If you want to catch them, just see. The fish will come up. Gentlemen, let's sit down. But fortunately, I've agreed with Minister of Finance that that's the way to go. Because we can't raise the money to build, is it 56 or 58 housing units? 53. No, those are for the police. 53,000. Then there is, I think, 28 for prisoners and about 8,000 for immigration. The problem is cuts across the whole ministry. Let's get people, even if 1 or 2 or 3, we agree, we build this, then government will look for money. Government is in eternity. We are paying Idi Amin's debts. Since when was Idi Amin? 50 years ago. We are paying the debts of the equipment he bought from Russia. And we are, with the what? We are about the 6th or 7th government since Idi Amin. But we are still paying his debts. Let's also build for the future. We build for the future. When they find it, they will appreciate and they will pay. For us, we build for the future. If we don't have the money, they will pay. When your father dies and he leaves debts, don't you pay them? Do you pay or don't you pay? Do you go to court and say, my father died with his debts? No. You, who else is tested, pays his debts. So we create debts. If you don't, at least I've told you in front of the police. I've reported myself. I've reported myself that I'm going to hang this man. There is a madman who threw a friend of his in a swimming pool. And then took him out. When he took him out, he went and hanged him. Then said, hey, why do you hang him? Say, to dry. Because he was wet. So Winnie, jokes alone, let's sit down with those who are concerned and bring a bankable project for housing the police, which we shall, There are two, especially uniforms and peeps and boots and what. I've talked to Biaba Sheija. Biaba Sheija has redundant manpower. In that prison of his, he's got people with skills he doesn't know. There are shoe menders, shoe thieves, all sorts of characters. He has all these fellows, all those characters. He can use them. I've said, Biaba Sheija, draw us a program for making boots for prisoners, boots for the police, even these peeps and gadgets. We can buy him equipment for making them. Why should we spend money buying gadgets, Botswana caps and what, when the police can make them? Do these ones come from heaven? Do these caps of yours come from heaven? They are manufactured by somebody who was born by one woman one day. If they can make them in Europe, why can't we make them here? Because it's a one-off expense. And he's got redundant manpower. I have told Yabasheja, let's plan for making boots for the police, for the army, for prisoners. Let's plan for making uniforms. Because now he has capacity to cut 10,000 uniforms a day. He's got the machine, I was there. 10,000. For 4 days, he has dressed up the whole police force. In 16 days, he has tailored enough uniforms for every police officer to have 2 pairs, ordinary working clothes, and a ceremonial uniform. In 1 month, he has finished. Let's buy him equipment for making boots. He's got the manpower. How many? He's got about 38,000 people who are redundant and eating for nothing. Those fellows just there. These some are murderers, some are bank robbers. But and you see, robbers are not exactly stupid. These are people you can teach, and they learn fast. And because they are redundant, they will do work. So let's not duplicate. Then the equipment here the police has, we can give to him, and then he produces, so that we are sure that every year we shall give every police officer a ceremonial uniform and 2 duty uniforms. Then they can also learn how to make warm clothes. Warm clothing, Botswana caps, these berets and pips and gadgets and everything. And they produce them. Then we save that money. That money we save, we can now buy police vehicles. That's what I was coming to, police vehicles. When IGP, your police is growing. You go to a district, the police, the DPC is on foot, his constables are on foot, his sergeants are on foot. Yeah, everybody's on foot. How do you expect somebody to command a district, a police officer, efficiently when they can't move? We should plan for 3 vehicles per district, at least. A vehicle for the police commander, a vehicle for general duties, and a vehicle for special duties, CID, crime intelligence. They can have 1 vehicle. Then we have for everybody, food, running around, chasing, and then the DPC. Same thing for the RPC. How do you run a region when you can't move? That's what I'm number 2. Then fuel. We have to organize fuel. These drivers, it's not that the fuel is not enough. The drivers just steal the fuel. I normally go from here to Bushenyi with my vehicles, Bushenyi, and we come back to Mbarara and refill. The other day I went to Guru. On my way to Guru, I passed via Lira. Now when I got to Lira, when we were coming back, I said, I'm going to give you 200,000 each. They said the fuel is not enough. I said, but that's what I give you when we are coming from Bushenyi. And my home is Kasheshero, which is an extra 56 kilometers to and fro from Ishaka. So we have not gone to that 50. How can you say this money is not enough to get to Kampala? Kumbe, the fellows have not filled the cars. So I said, we are going to drive. Whoever runs a lot of fuel will remain where the fuel was. And it didn't happen. When we got to Ruwero, one of the vehicles ran short of fuel. I said, we go and leave this one here. Now, I wanted to see how far the other, pickup would go, because you see they are the same capacity. You've traveled the same journey. You run short of fuel. This one is still running. When we were getting to Matuga, imagine Ruwero and Matuga, and these are vehicles of the same capacity. I think the other driver told this one, said, you are kidding me. Just say you have also run short of fuel. Because I had proved my point. The vehicles are the same capacity. They are all Isuzu. They have traveled the same distance. You got supply from the same depot. How come you run short out of fuel in Ruwero and this one has come to Matuga? Kuna kasoro hapo. So it means you DPCs, RPCs, gentlemen here, you have to supervise fuel consumption. And you have to supervise the supervisors. Because the greatest criminals are the ones who supply. When you say go and pick 50 liters, they pick 30. The other 20, you know what happens? Cham, like our brothers from Northern Uganda say cham. Of course, I know there is some bit of chan. There is, those of you who don't speak Luo, there is cham. Cham is food, and chan is poverty. Not some people, this Lonyo, Papa Ochora, don't worry. But that one we shall address, but make sure that this government, these government assets are protected. Because the majority of the complaint I hear is the police has no fuel. The police has no fuel. Of course, there are some who have nowhere to put the fuel. They don't have vehicles. So let's sort out the question of vehicles, motorcycles, and then traffic. Traffic. You don't have enough personnel. Traffic, personnel, and general personnel for the police force. Let's tell the country you can't eat your cake and have it. Either you give us enough policemen or don't complain about crime. You know, we have a parliament which is bigger than the size of the parliament of Britain. Did you know that? Our parliament is the size of the parliament of Britain. Britain's economy is 200 times the size of Uganda's economy. They have about 600 MPs. We have 540 what? 500, about 54. We can't afford. You know, how can Uganda have a parliament the size of the British parliament? And you don't have enough policemen. The other day I was telling somebody that I was at a wedding and I was telling them that I don't come to parliament because I used to talk for 15 minutes. Now I have to compete for 3. Because there are so many, they are only allocated 3 minutes. What do you say in 3 minutes? I have not even said what I wanted to tell you and I've spoken for more longer than 3 minutes. I said, what do you say in 3 minutes? Oh, I say, oh, no. They represent their people. Yes, but if I talk about the issues of Ruhinda, he talks about the issues of West Budama, he talks about the issues of Ntungamu. Who is going to talk about the issues of Uganda? If we concentrate on the issues of our constituencies, who is going to discuss national issues? Where do we get the resources to support these 2 institutions? Support a robust police and a robust parliament. Well, it's not your fault, but I'm telling you some of the challenges we have. Well, I'm telling you some of the challenges we have. That sometimes we are forced to do things which have no meaning. And it's not that, but because people demanded for districts. The president gave us a district. If you don't give, we shan't vote you. The man says, okay, since you want, what do I do? Now you create a Frankenstein. We need enough police officers. So since you wanted districts, you are going to pay tax to get police officers. In Runyankore, they say he who commits suicide, we don't whip for him or her. When you commit suicide, they don't whip for you. In Uganda, they actually dig a pit and cut you and you fall there. Because you're the one who killed yourself. The Ugandans are the ones who created this problem. You can't have a big parliament and you want a big police force and you want to feed them, yet you have 1 cow. One will suffer. So, one Ochora, you give me your manpower requirements, I'll go and talk to this wonderful parliament and say, this is what I did. At least it will be put on record that Ochora and his team saw what they wanted and said, if you want us to be efficient, this is what we want. It's on record. So you don't complain. Sometimes I say Enanga on television, you know, sometimes I say, now Enanga is lying. You see him looking for explanation. Poor man. And when things go wrong, I tell General Mose, you go to Parliament. Fortunately, Mose is very smart. Sometimes he goes there and see him playing with words. You know the problem, but you start now looking for, what do I say? You know the problem, but you have no solution. So, ladies and gentlemen, draw up a list of your requirements. We go on to government and say, whatever you are doing, we need this money. So government, rationalize your priorities. Rationalize your priorities. If you want a robust police force, an adequate prison service, a robust immigration service, this is what we require. That's forgetting Nira and the other fellows. These ones. There are certain government institutions which are a sine qua non for government to exist, for a country to exist. A police force is one of those institutions which need support, maximum support. So, and I will do this for you for as long as I'm around. And I'm not around for a long time, gentlemen. I'm getting old. I'm getting dilapidated like an old Land Rover. So, but while we are around, let's put our hands together and see what we can push. So that Ochoa and I and Katsigas and some of you leave a legacy. We can leave a legacy. Then we can pin Winnie here and say, Winnie, you let us down. But then we should also have a plan. I think these are mainly the kind of things I wanted to talk about. Welfare, structure, and then this business of crime. From the reports we get,